Hello everyone. Now we are going to discuss a new chapter, that is human reproductive system, right? Human reproduction or human reproductive system. It is a pretty big chapter, okay? Human reproduction is a big chapter. First we'll see what are the topics in this chapter, okay? We'll see the rough idea regarding what all things has to be discussed in this chapter. Okay, so first topic is we have to see what is a male sex organ and what is a female sex organ, right? Which is a male sex organ? In the male sex organ, we have a primary male sex organ and secondary male sex organ, right? We'll come to the details later, okay? So we have to discuss male sex organ and female sex organ. Then we have to see what is gametogenesis or how gametogenesis occurs, right? Gametogenesis means what? It is the formation of gametes, okay? Gametogenesis means it is the formation of gametes, right? So in male organisms, which is the gamete, it is a male gamete, right? In humans, it is sperms. The male gamete is called as sperm. So it is spermatogenesis in males. And what is the female gamete in humans? It is the ovum. So it is oogenesis in females, right? So the gametogenesis, it is spermatogenesis in males and oogametes in females, right? Along with oogametes, we have to see menstrual cycle in females, right? We have seen the cyclical changes that is occurring in a female organism. It is called as what? It is called as menstrual cycle. So we have to see what is happening in menstrual cycle. Now we have to see how fertilization occurs. After fertilization comes what? This zygote will get implanted in the uterus, that is called as implantation. In the uterus, the zygote will undergo embryonic development or embryogenesis, right? And we have to see what is gestation, what is parturition, and lastly what is lactation, right? So this is the overview of the chapter, okay? This is the overview of the chapter. So first we will apply our knowledge, right? We have some knowledge from the reproduction in organisms, right? So we will apply the knowledge in human reproduction, right? We have humans, right? So humans show what type of reproduction? Humans will show sexual reproduction, right? Male and female gametes are formed. They will fuse together to form zygote, that is called as sexual reproduction. Humans shows sexual reproduction. Okay, human shows sexual reproduction, right? Where the fertilization occurs in humans? The fertilization occurs inside the female, inside the body of the female organism, right? Fertilization occurs inside the body of the female organism in humans, and such type of fertilization is called as internal fertilization, right? So in humans, internal fertilization occurs. Okay, internal fertilization occurs. So where the embryo will develop? The embryo will develop inside the body of the female organisms, right? So they will get more care and nourishment in the embryonic period, right? They will get proper embryonic development, right? And this embryo, once developed into a juvenile form, it is delivered out. Such organisms are called as viviparous organisms. So the humans are viviparous organisms. Okay, so the human shows sexual reproduction, they will show internal fertilization, and they are viviparous organisms, right? Now, which is the next? Which are the various events we studied in sexual reproduction? The various events include pre-fertilization event, fertilization, and post-fertilization event. We will take one by one. First one is what? It is pre-fertilization event, and in pre-fertilization event, the first step is gametogenesis, right? Gametogenesis. So in humans we have male gamete. Which is a male gamete? The male gamete is the sperms. We have the sperms, right? And what is the female gametes? It is the ovum. Okay, so the gametogenesis means what? It is the formation of gametes. So the formation of sperms is called as what? It is called as spermatogenesis. The formation of sperms is called as spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis means it is the formation of sperms, whereas in females what is happening? It is the formation of ovum, the female gamete. Female gamete is ovum. The formation of ovum, it is called as oogenesis. Okay, so in gametogenesis, the male gamete is sperms and female gamete is ovum in humans, and the process of formation of sperms is called as spermatogenesis. The process of formation of ovum is called as oogenesis, right? Where the spermatogenesis occurs? The spermatogenesis occurs in testis, right? Spermatogenesis occurs in testis, and where the oogenesis occurs? It occurs in ovary, right? It occurs in ovary. The spermatogenesis occurs in testis and oogenesis occurs in ovary, right? And the important thing in males is that the males can produce sperms even in their very old age. Okay, they can produce sperms even when they are very old. Okay, so the males can produce sperms even in old age. But what about females? The females can only produce ovum till the age of 50, or around the age of 50 the ovum production stops in females. Okay, so in females it is till 50 years. So around 50 years the ovum production will stop in females. So there is no reproduction in females after 50 years, but the males, the gametogenesis or spermatogenesis can occur even in very old age, right? Okay, so that is the gametogenesis, right? We have discussed 3 points. Male gamete is sperms and female gamete is ovum, and the male, this process is called spermatogenesis in males and oogenesis in females. Where the spermatogenesis occur? Spermatogenesis occur in testis in males and oogenesis occur in ovary in females, right? The males can produce sperms till very old age, and the females, the production of ovum will stops around 50 years, right? So that is the first event in pre-fertilization, that is gametogenesis. Which is the second event? It is the gamete transfer. What is happening in gamete transfer? Right, we have discussed that humans are what? They have internal fertilization. In internal fertilization, we have seen the male gametes, right? The male gametes are usually motile and they are produced large in numbers, right? Usually the male gametes are motile in internal fertilization and they are produced large in numbers. So the sperms are what? They are motile, right? This motile sperms will travel to where a stationary ovum is located. They will travel to the location where the stationary ovum is located. So the ovum is, it is stationary. Okay. So the sperms who are motile will travel to where the stationary ovary is located, right? Okay. So that is called as gamete transfer. That is the transfer of the sperm to the ovary is called as what? It is called as gamete transfer. So in internal fertilization, what is happening? The fertilization occurs inside the body of the female. So where the sperm has to get traveled? The sperm has to get traveled into the female genital tract, right? Because fertilization occurs inside the body of the female. So the sperm has to get traveled to the body of the female, or the sperm has to get travel into the female genital tract, right? So the sperms is what the sperms we are, the sperms get transferred into the female genital tract with the help of a copulatory organ, right? The sperms are deposited in the female genital tract with the help of a copulatory organ, and that process called as what? That process called as insemination. Okay. So what is insemination? Insemination, it is the transfer of or deposition of the sperms in the female genital tract. Once reaches the female genital tract, the sperms will travel up the female genital tract and reaches the ovum, right? So with the help of a copulatory organ, the sperms are deposited in the female genital tract. That process called as what? It is called as insemination, right? So once reaches the female genital tract, the sperms will move up the female genital tract and reaches the ovum. Okay, that is the gamete transfer, and the process is the insemination, right? Okay, so this is the pre-fertilization event, right? Okay, so after reaching the female or after reaching the ovum, what happens? The male gamete, okay, after reaching the ovum, the male gamete will fuses with the female gamete, right? The male gamete will fuses with the female gamete to form zygote, right? And this process called as what? This is called as fertilization. This is called as fertilization. Okay, so reaching the ovum, the sperm will get fused with the ovum to form the zygote, and that process called as what? It is called as fertilization. Once the zygote is formed, right, the zygote will undergo what? It will undergo cell division. Okay, the zygote will undergo cell division. Okay, and it will form into a structure called as blastocyst. Okay. Okay, after fusion of male and female gametes, zygote is formed. This zygote will undergo cell division to form blastocyst. This blastocyst will get implanted in the uterus. The blastocyst will get implanted in the uterus, right? And that process called as what? It is called as implantation. Okay, the blastocyst get incorporated into the uterus, and that process called as what? It is called as implantation. Okay, so in the uterus this will undergo embryonic development, right? In the uterus the blastocyst will undergo further development to form embryo, and from embryo it forms fetus, right? And that embryonic development, so in uterus it will go. Okay, so in uterus the fetus, blastocyst will undergo embryonic development, right? Embryonic development, and later the embryo is formed into fetus, right? That is called as what? That process called as gestation, right? Where the development of the embryo and the fetus occur inside the uterus is called as what? It is called as gestation, right? It is called as gestation. And when it reaches a juvenile form, right, when it has all organs and it has get proper embryonic care, it has get proper nourishment, this fetus will be delivered out of the female body via the female genital opening or vagina. The fetus will get delivered out via the vagina, and that process called as what? It is called as parturition. Okay, so once the male gamete and female gamete fertilize to form the zygote, this zygote will undergo cell division to form blastocyst. This blastocyst get incorporated into the uterus, and that process called as what? It is called as implantation. Once get implanted, it will undergo development in the uterus, right? The embryo will undergo development in the uterus, and that is called as what? It is called as gestation. It is called as gestation, right? And later, after attaining maturity, certain maturity, the fetus is delivered out via the female genital opening, that is vagina, and that process called as what? It is called as parturition. Okay, so these are the post-fertilization events. Okay, these are the post-fertilization events. Okay, post-fertilization events. Okay, so we have seen what is happening in pre-fertilization events, what is happening in fertilization, and what is happening in post-fertilization. Okay, now we'll just list all the processes. Okay, we'll just list all the processes. Okay, so what are the processes? First one is what? First one is spermatogenesis or oogenesis. Spermatogenesis or oogenesis. Okay, first process spermatogenesis or oogenesis, right? Then what happens? The second one is gamete transfer, that is insemination. The gamete transfer is called as insemination, right? Then which is the third one? Third one, it is the fertilization, right? Fertilization resulting in the formation of zygote, right? Fertilization resulting in the formation of zygote. This zygote will undergo what? It will undergo implantation, right? It will undergo implantation in the uterus, right? And after implantation, it will develop inside the uterus, that is called as gestation. After attaining certain maturity, the fetus is delivered out via the vagina, and that is called as what? It is called as parturition. Okay, these are the 7 important events in sexual reproduction. First one, it is gametogenesis, then gamete transfer, that is insemination. After insemination, the sperm will reaches the ovum. The sperm will reaches the ovum and they get fused, that is called as fertilization. Zygote is formed. The formed zygote will get implanted into the uterus, that process called as implantation. The implanted embryo will then later get the nutrition, right? They will undergo development, cell differentiation, cell division, everything, and that is called as what is called as gestation. After attaining certain maturity, they are delivered outside via the female genital opening or vagina, that is called as parturition. Okay, these are the events in sexual reproduction in human or human reproduction. We have to discuss one by one. Okay, we have to discuss one by one. So before going into the topic, okay, we have to see 2 important things, right? 2 important things. One is primary sex organ. Okay, what is a primary sex organ? Primary sex organ, and second one is secondary sex organ. Okay, we have to be clear about these 2 things. What is a primary sex organ and what is a secondary sex organ? Primary sex organ means the organs in which the gametes are formed, right? The organs in which the gametes are formed. In males we have sperms, right? So where the sperms are formed? Sperm is the male gamete, right? It is the male gamete. Where sperms are formed? They are formed in the testis. Okay, so testis is the primary male sex organ. Okay, testis is the primary male sex organ. Sperms are the male gametes and they are formed inside the testis. So it is the primary male sex organ. Primary sex organs means where the organs in which the gametes are formed is called as primary sex organ. So in males it is testis where sperms are formed. So testis is the primary male sex organs. Whereas in females, it is the ovum, right? Where the ovum is formed? Ovum is formed inside the ovary, right? So ovary is the primary female sex organ. Testis is the primary male sex organ, whereas ovary is the primary female sex organ. Understand? So primary sex organ means it is the organ in which the male gamete and female gametes are formed. Okay, so male it is testis is the primary male sex organ and ovary is the primary female sex organ. What are secondary sex organs? The secondary sex organs means the organs which helps in sexual reproduction, right? Which helps in the various events in sexual reproduction like gamete transfer, the post-fertilization events. Okay, so the organs which helps in the various events in sexual reproduction is called as secondary sex organs. The organs which helps in various events of sexual reproduction is called as secondary sex organs. So we'll see what are the secondary sex organs in males. What are secondary sex organs? We have epididymis. Okay, epididymis, then vas deferens, then we have seminal vesicle, we have the prostate, we have the bulbourethral glands, we have the penis. Okay, these are the organs which help in sexual reproduction in males. Okay, so they are called as male secondary sex organs. So the male secondary sex organs include epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicles, prostate, bulbourethral gland and penis. When females, which all organs helps in sexual reproduction? We have the fallopian tube, we have the uterus, we have the vagina, right? So in females, the secondary sex organs include fallopian tube, uterus and vagina. Okay, in males, the epididymis, Vas different. Seminal vesicle, prostate, bulbourethral gland and penis include the male secondary sex organs, whereas the female secondary sex organs include fallopian tube, uterus and vagina. Right. So when these are formed, the primary or secondary sex organs, when these are formed in each individual, remember that all the primary sex organs and secondary sex organs, they are formed in the intrauterine life. Okay, they are formed in the intrauterine life. Right, when the fetus is present inside the uterus of the mother. Okay, even in that period itself, the primary and secondary sex organs are formed. Okay, so the primary and secondary sex organs are formed in the intrauterine life itself. Okay, remember that the primary and secondary sex organ, they can give you any one of this and will ask when will it formed. It is formed, okay, every one of them, okay, they are formed in the intrauterine life itself. The primary as well as secondary sex organs are formed in the intrauterine life itself. Okay. Now we will discuss male reproductive organ. Right, we will discuss male reproductive organ. Okay. Right, we will discuss what are male reproductive, what is male reproductive organ. Where is male reproductive organ located? Actually, the male reproductive organ is located below the abdomen, that is at the pelvis. Right, it is located at the pelvis. Okay, it is located at the pelvis, that is in between the hip bones, right, below the abdomen, in between the hip bones, that part is called as pelvis. So, male reproductive organ is located at pelvis, right. What are the parts of male reproductive, or what are the components of male reproductive organ? It is composed of a pair of testes. Okay, it is composed of a pair of testes, right. The components. The components of male reproductive organ include a pair of testes. Then it has the accessory ducts, right. It has the accessory glands. And it has the external genitalia. Okay, these are the components of male reproductive system, right. So the male reproductive organ is located below the abdomen, that is at the pelvis, and it has 4 components. The major one, or the primary sex organ, a single pair of testes, right. Then we have the secondary sex organs. These 3 are the secondary sex organ, where there is accessory ducts, accessory glands and external genitalia, right. Testis is the primary sex organ. Right, this is a primary sex organ where the formation of sperm occurs, right. And these 3 are the secondary sex organs. Okay, these 3 are the secondary sex organs. Okay, so the components are 4 in number: a pair of testes, accessory ducts, accessory glands and external genitalia. Right, now we will just see testes. Okay, now we'll just take the testes, right. Okay, testes. Where is testis located? Right, the testis is not located in the abdominal cavity. Remember that the testis is not located in the abdominal cavity, but it is located outside the abdominal cavity, or below the abdominal cavity, in a pouch. Okay, in a pouch called as what? In a pouch called as scrotum. Okay, the testis is not located in the abdominal cavity. Very, very important. Testis is not because we have said that male reproductive organ is located in the pelvis, right? But the testis is not located in the abdominal cavity. That is, it is not located inside the abdomen or inside the pelvis, but it is located outside in a small pouch-like structure called as scrotum. What is the need for such an arrangement? Okay, you see the beauty of creation, right? What is the need for such an arrangement? Because for the proper spermatogenesis, right? For the proper spermatogenesis, a lower temperature is required, right? What is the body temperature? In humans, our body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. The body temperature of humans is 37 degrees Celsius. But in this 37 degrees Celsius, proper spermatogenesis doesn't occur. Okay, so in 37 degrees Celsius, this spermatogenesis doesn't occur. So if this testis was present inside the abdominal cavity, the temperature of testis will be 37 degrees Celsius or body temperature, but in such body temperature the spermatogenesis doesn't occur. So what happens? This testis, it is located outside the abdominal cavity in a separate pouch. And what is the importance of this scrotum? The scrotum has a temperature 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the body temperature. Okay, the temperature of the scrotum will be around 34.5 to 35 degrees Celsius. Okay, that will be the temperature of scrotum, which is 2 to 2.5 degree. Temperature is 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the body temperature, right? Okay, so the testis is located inside the scrotum where the temperature is 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the body temperature, and such lower temperature is necessary for the proper spermatogenesis. In the normal body temperature of 37 degrees Celsius, spermatogenesis doesn't occur, or there will be problems in spermatogenesis. So to avoid such problems, these testis is placed outside the abdominal cavity. It is placed outside the abdominal cavity in a pouch-like structure called as scrotum, right? Pouch-like structure called as scrotum. What is the importance of the scrotum? They have a temperature 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the body temperature, which will ensure proper spermatogenesis. Okay, so it's like this pouch-like structure, and the testis is located inside the scrotum. Okay, the scrotum will also prevent the testis from the it will also protect the testis from the external forces or external pressures. Okay, so it has the inner wall of scrotum will have various muscle layers and connective tissue. Okay, the inner wall of scrotum will have various muscle layers and connective tissue which will protect the testis from external pressures. Okay, so the scrotum has two functions. One, it is maintaining the lower temperature 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius normal than the body temperature, and it has inner lining of the muscles and connective tissue which will protect it from the external forces, right? And this is the testis is simply sitting inside the scrotum. No, it is connected to the scrotum with the help of elastic fibers. Okay, this testis is connected to the scrotum with the help of elastic fibers. Okay, this is called as gubernaculum. These fibers are called as what? It is called as gubernaculum. Okay, the testis is connected to the inner wall of scrotum with the help of elastic fibers, which is called as gubernaculum. Okay, gubernaculum. Okay, so this is how testis is seen inside the scrotum. Okay, there are two functions for the scrotum. One is maintaining the lower temperature, second one is protecting the testis from external pressures. Okay, so the testis is connected to the scrotum with the help of elastic fibers. From here itself we can see the shape of the testis, right? So the testis is what? It is oval in shape, right? It is oval in shape. The testis is oval in shape. So what will be the length? Length is 4 to 5 centimeter. What about the breadth or width? It is 2 to 3 centimeter. Okay, the testis is oval in shape with a length of 4 to 5 centimeter and a breadth of 2 to 3 centimeter. Okay, so it is present inside the scrotum, oval in shape. Testis is present inside the scrotum, outside the abdominal cavity, right? And it is oval in shape with a length of 4.4 to 5 centimeter and a breadth of 2 to 3 centimeters. Okay, so this testis is a very precious organ. Okay, so it should be very well protected. Okay, so along with the scrotum protection, the testis has a 3-layered covering. Okay, the testis has a 3-layered covering, right? There is a 3-layered covering for the testis, right? The outer covering it is called as what? It is called as tunica vaginalis. The outer wall is called as, outer covering it is called as tunica vaginalis, right? Middle it is called as tunica albuginea, right? And the inner one it is called as tunica vasculosa. Okay, so this is the covering of the testis. So the covering of testis is called as tunica and it has 3 layers, right? Tunica vaginalis, tunica albuginea and tunica vasculosa. So the testis is protected with the help of scrotum as well as it has 3-layered covering, which is this outer is tunica vaginalis, middle tunica albuginea and inner is tunica vasculosa, right? It is tunica vasculosa, right? And the testis, right, here we have the testis, right? It is divided into around 250 compartments. Okay, the testis is divided into around 250 compartments. 250 compartments. Okay, the testis is divided into 250 compartment and each compartment is called as what? Each compartment is called as testicular lobules. Okay, testicular lobules. Okay, each compartment it is called as testicular lobules. Okay, so this is the inner part of testis, right? We have taken a section of testis, we have cut. Actually it is like round structure, we have divided it into 2 halves, right? When we are seeing the inner part, it is like this. The testis is divided into 250 compartments and each compartment it is called as testicular lobule. So the testis is divided into 250 compartments which is called as testicular lobules. Okay, in each the testicular lobules, around 1 to 3 highly specialized coil structures are present. Okay, around 1 to 3 highly specialized coil structures are present. Okay, these coil structures are called as what? It is called as seminiferous tubules. Okay, okay, so the inside the testicular lobules around 1 to 3, okay, 1 to 3 highly coiled specialized structures called as seminiferous tubules. The sperms are produced inside this seminiferous tubules. Okay, the seminiferous tubules, the sperms are produced inside this seminiferous tubules. Okay, the sperms are produced inside this seminiferous tubules. Okay, okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to divide, right? This is a seminiferous tubule, right? It is like a tube here, right? Tubule. Now we are going to take a cross section. Okay, we are going to take a cross section. Okay, this is a tubule, right? Okay, the tubule is lined by two types of cells. Okay, this is our seminiferous tubules. Okay, it is lined by two types of cells. Okay, the tubules are lined, this is the tubules, it is lined by two types of cells. Okay, it is lined by two types of cells, right? First one, it is the male germ cell. Okay, first it is the male germ cell, right? Male germ cell. Okay, the male germ cell forms the what? It will forms the sperms. Okay, the sperms are produced from the male germ cells. Okay, okay, this male germ cells will undergo meiosis. Okay, meiosis to produce sperms. Okay, it is also called as spermatogonia. The male germ cells are also called as what? It is also called as spermatogonia. Okay, so it is like these are the spermatogonias. Okay, these are the spermatogonia. So the seminiferous tubules are lined by two types of cells, right? One is the male germ cell or spermatogonia, which is a diploid cell, right? This will undergo meiosis cell division, right? It will undergo meiosis cell division to produce sperms, right? And in between the spermatogonia or the male germ cell, we have what? We have some cells, right? These are called as what? These are called as Sertoli cells. Okay, these are called as Sertoli cells. These are called as Sertoli cells. What is the function of this Sertoli cells? This Sertoli cells will provide nourishment. Okay, this Sertoli cells will provide nourishment to the sperms. Okay, this Sertoli cells will provide nourishment to the some sperms, so they are also called as nursing cells. Okay, since it provides nourishment to the cells, it is also called as what? Nursing cells. Okay, so understand, this is a seminiferous tubule, right? It is lined by two types of cell. The seminiferous tubules is lined by two types of cell. One is male germ cell or spermatogonia, which undergo meiosis division to form sperms, whereas in between the spermatogonia we have Sertoli cells, which will provide nourishment to the sperms, right? It will provide nourishment to the sperms. They are called as, so they are also called as nursing cells. Okay, okay, nursing cells. Okay, so if we take a section, okay, there will be so many spermatogonias, right? Sorry, there will be so many, which is this seminiferous tubules, right? If we take a cross section like this, because there are 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules in each testicular lobule. So when we take a cross section, there will be seminiferous tubules like this, right? 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules like this. So in between the seminiferous tubules, there is this space is called as what? It is called as interstitial space, right? Interstitial space, right? And in interstitial space there are some cells present. Okay, some cells are present in the interstitial space. Okay, okay, these are called as what? These are called as interstitial cells. Okay, these are called as interstitial cells. Okay, some cells are present in the interstitial space between the seminiferous tubules, like, right? Okay, some cells are present in the space is present in between the seminiferous tubules. Such space is called as what? It is called as interstitial space. And some cells are present in the interstitial space. Such cells are called as what? Interstitial cells or Leydig cells. Okay, such cells are called as interstitial cells or Leydig cells. Okay, this interstitial cells or Leydig cells will produce what? They will produce the male sex hormone. Which is the major male sex hormone? That is testosterone. Okay, so they will produce the male sex hormone, that is testosterone. This is about the testis. So what we have seen, testis is located in the So what we have seen that the testis is located outside the abdominal cavity in a pouch-like structure called as scrotum, which will helps in maintain. The scrotum has a temperature 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius below than the body temperature. Such a lower temperature is necessary for spermatogenesis. So to maintain such temperature, the testis is placed in sac-like structures called as scrotum, right? And along with the scrotum, the testis has, for the protection, it has a 3-layered membrane that is called as tunica. We have seen the different 3 layers of tunica, right? And when we take a cross section, we have seen that the testis is divided into 250 compartments that is called as testicular lobules, right? Each lobule has 1 to 3 seminiferous highly coiled specialized tubules, that is seminiferous tubules. Inside the seminiferous tubules is the sperms are produced, right? The seminiferous sperms are produced inside the seminiferous tubules, okay? And the lining of the seminiferous tubules has 2 types of cells, right? It has male germ cell and Sertoli cells. Male germ cells will produce sperms, and Sertoli cells is the nursing cells which will provide nourishment to the sperms, right? In between spaces in the seminiferous tubules, right? There are spaces in between seminiferous tubules. That spaces are called as what? They are called as interstitial spaces, and some cells are present in the interstitial spaces, that is called as Leydig cells, which will produce the male sex hormone, that is testosterone. Okay, this is about testis.